Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we have another COVID health protocol update from the Princess website, and we also have some breaking news on what is going on with some ships and being denied entry into port. So I'm going to talk to you about that and let you know what I think is a good course of action for us considering what's going on. And so first of all, I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members. Thank you so much for coming. And also a big welcome to all of you who are new. We're glad to have you here with us. So like I said, today is December 23rd, 2021, and last night, dated December 22nd of 2021, Princess announced an update to their COVID health protocols. This time the change has to do with the casino. And then I also want to talk to you a little bit about masking and being able to get off the ship. So first of all, Princess's notice in these FAQs about the casino has always said that they would have increased cleaning going on and that they would clean the high-touch areas really often, and that would include the table game positions, slot machines, and cashier areas. Last week it was new that smoking would not be permitted in the casino for now. Well, the big update this week is that it says casino dealers will wear personal protective equipment, including face shields. And so I think this is a really big change for Princess, and I think it's a really good move. Their people who work in the casino are right there close to people the whole time that they're working. And I really think that they took this step to keep their crew members safe, to make sure that they do all that they can so that they don't get sick. And also, if a crew member happens to have COVID and they're not testing positive yet, this is a really good protection to put into place so that none of the passengers catch it as well. And so you might recall, I don't know how many of you are familiar with personal protective equipment, but that is what they call what they wear in a hospital if they go into a room that a patient has COVID and they need to take care of them, but they want to protect the healthcare worker. And so it includes like clothing over your regular clothes, and then they've got like gloves on and like an N95 mask, and I think there's maybe 2 masks with that, and then the face shield. It is just so much protective gear, and I maybe even missed some because I'm not a healthcare professional, but I know that it is very, very specific, the way that they put it on and the way that they use it to try to keep the worker safe. And so I think that this is a really big step. I also want to add that they have not changed anything since last week, and I have the video that I'll link below for that, about their masking or being able to get off the ship. But I do want to point out that for a long time now, Princess has requested that passengers wear their mask in the indoor areas except for when they're eating or drinking, except for like if they're doing high intensity activity or if they're having a spa treatment to the face. But now, last week they did add that they would like passengers to please wear a mask in the outdoor areas when they cannot socially distance. And so I want to just kind of put this in perspective and the way that I'm looking at it. When I am outside on a cruise ship, and when I am in, like even on deck 7 on the Caribbean Princess, as well as on the top decks, you know, you really can control how close you stand to someone else. And so if you bump into somebody and you meet them, or you're just saying hi to someone, you can stand back so that you are socially distanced. And so for those of you who don't want to wear a mask, and you don't want to worry about that, I think if you're careful, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that on the outside on a cruise ship. And part of that, I think it's even easier now because the cruise ships are not sailing with 100% capacity, so they're not near as crowded. And so they already have said that you also don't have to wear a mask like if you're in the pool or the whirlpool or the sauna. So you don't have to worry about wearing your mask in the pool. But I think that the only places that I would really think that you're going to maybe need to put a mask on when you're on a cruise ship is if you're going to go like up to the Salty Dog Grill and ask for food. I think that would be very courteous to a staff member, you know, a crew member who is there, because you would be closer to them. I would probably put on a mask there, especially if there's a line with other passengers. And if you are like going to walk up to a bar and ask for a drink out there on the top deck, that's probably very courteous and within protocols if you're going to be that close to someone to also put your mask on. But then you can take it off and go sit down somewhere and eat your food away from other people, or enjoy your drink, whatever you're doing. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not saying to follow Princess protocols at all. I think it's very important to follow their protocols. But I just wanted to point out that when you're outside, it is really easy to social distance and be careful. And so I wouldn't be so worried about that. The other thing that I want to talk to you about has to do with being able to get off the cruise ship in a port that you visit. Now, first of all, Princess points out that in all of the ports so far, they will let you get off if you're part of a Princess excursion. And then there are some ports that will not let you get off if you are not on a Princess excursion. And those, I've got all of the specifics about this in another video that I just did to go over everything, so I'll link that below. But then they also say that some ports are changing all of the time, and so you really have to keep an eye on where you're going. And so keep that in mind. Now, if any of these things cause you worry and you want to move your cruise, just remember that Princess has their amazing Book with Confidence program, and what that allows is up until 30 days before you cruise, you can cancel your cruise and get a 100% future cruise credit and move your cruise down the road. And right now they have that applying to all cruises that are booked by February 28th of 2022, and also to all of the cruises that are sailing by April 30th of 2022. And so I think that's awesome. It gives us a lot of latitude in what we want to do. And if you are within that 30-day window, if you test positive for COVID, and I would even add if you feel sick like you could have COVID, they will let you have your money in a future cruise credit as well. And so they don't want anyone getting on the ship who is tested positive for COVID or has any symptoms of COVID, because that could turn into making other people sick too. And so in that case, they will also let you have your money as a future cruise credit so that you can go another time. And so another factor that has really come to light a lot this week, and I really want you to think about, is the fact that this week the Carnival Freedom has not been able to call into port. Yesterday they were not allowed to call in Bonaire, and today they were not allowed to call in Aruba. Also, the Odyssey of the Seas this week has been turned away from a couple of ports. They have not been able to call at Aruba and Curacao. And it is because of the number of COVID cases they have on the ship. The Freedom of the Seas, I'm sorry, it's not Freedom of the Seas, it's just the Carnival Freedom. That one, I have not seen any news reports that contain how many cases they have on the ship. The news outlets are reporting that right now, as of December 23rd, 2021, it's Thursday, that on their Odyssey of the Seas, there are 58 cases, and that ship is cruising at 95% capacity of, sorry, not 95% capacity, but 95% of the passengers are vaccinated. And so that is where they sit today, and so they have not been able to call at ports. And so this really begs the question of, do you want to go on your cruise if you're not able to call at the ports that are on your itinerary? And so that is another thing that we have got to start to think about. I don't know what protocols cruise lines are going to think they can change, if they're going to start requiring boosters to try to limit the number of cases. My guess is they are probably still in the wait and see phase of all of that, because 58 passengers is not that many, but I also know that it causes them stress. I'm sure it causes them stress when they cannot call at the ports on their itinerary. And so we really need all of us to think if we're okay going on our cruise, if we're not able to call at the ports that we're planning to visit. And so we have decided for us, our next cruise is that one to the Western Caribbean on January 16th. We have decided that we are okay to go. Yes, we hope we get off at the ports, but if we're not able to, we would still like to go on that cruise. I haven't been to the Caribbean yet, but it's okay with me if I miss those this time. I'll catch them next time. And so all of you maybe want to think about that. And if you're within 30 days of your cruise and you really don't want to sail with that uncertainty, you might want to move your cruise further down the road with that great Book with Confidence program that Princess has. But I would like to say, though, that when I consider where our cruises are this next summer, the one we've got to the Russia and Scandinavia, like, I don't want to go there and not get off the ship. If that happens, then we'll just make the best of it, of course. But I am really going to watch what's going on right up until it's time to go, and so that I can move that cruise if I want to move that cruise. And the same with the ones we've got to the Mediterranean in the fall. I want to get off in those ports. I love Europe. I miss going there. I just absolutely love going to those ports. And so for me, that would be the thing that would make me want to reschedule my cruise. And so that's just something to think about. Think about that with what you've got booked. Now, I'm not even worrying about those cruises right now because so much can change by then. So I'm not worrying about it. And I'm not worrying about the January one either. We're going to go. If it gets canceled, we won't go. I don't think it's going to get canceled. We're going to go. We're going to have a lovely time. And so, but I really wanted to have you all think about that, because with this news, with these other cruise ships not being able to call in their ports, that's, maybe a deal breaker for some people. But at the same time, I would really like to point out that there are lots of cruise ships sailing right now. I really should have counted them before I talked to you all, but there are a lot of cruise ships that are sailing right now that are being able to go to all of these ports. And so these are just two really very isolated instances that I wanted to bring to your attention, just because I like to let you know what's going on so that you can make an informed decision. And so think about all that. And I also want to point out that the Carnival Freedom and Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Sea are just still sailing just fine. They clearly have COVID passengers on board, and those couple of ports did not feel comfortable in having them go ahead and have the passengers come ashore. But they're still sailing just fine. Clearly their protocols have kicked in and everything is going fine, and any protocols that the CDC has for them are being followed as well. The CDC has not called them back to port because of the number of cases they've got, and I really do think that that's the way things are going to be and I don't know if that's how they're going to always be now. We're just going to have to be as careful as we can, follow the protocols, and just deal with what happens and be flexible. I also wanted to point out that I know that with these little ports and some of the big ports even, I am sure that they hate to turn cruise passengers away. A lot of these ports, their lifeblood is the money that they earn from cruise passengers. And so I know that they are very cautious. They very carefully make a decision not to let a cruise ship dock and have their passengers come ashore. And so I think as we move forward, all of these places are going to continue to want to work so closely with the cruise lines in order to be able to let people get off at the ports and to be able to meet all of the protocols and have everything in place so that things go smoothly. So I want to also add that I really don't think that cruise ships are going to start canceling sailings. They want to be able to cruise. They're going to be careful with their protocols. They're going to do their best to take good care of us. And I just wanted to put out there that I am very optimistic. I really don't think that the cruise lines are going to shut down again unless something like enormous and like anything we have seen so far happens again. And so I just wanted to add my opinion to that and let you know how well things really are going with that cruising there. And so thanks. I wanted to also extend an invitation to you. This morning I was watching Tony's video, Lalita Loca, and they had one of their family members who sent him a video. They're on the Odyssey of the Seas right now, and so he just did a short little video saying what it was like to miss their port in Curacao, and then what everyone was doing. Sounds like everybody was just still having a nice time on the ship. But if any of you are on a cruise ship and you want to let us know anything, just send us a little email to letsgotraveltips@gmail.com, and my husband will send you a link, and you can just upload your video, and then we can access it and put it in a video, and then everyone can kind of see what's going on. And if any of you are on a cruise ship right now, I should have said this, I meant to say it and I forgot when we were talking about the casino. We would love if you would go tell us what's going on in the casino right now, and if the crew members are already wearing their personal protective equipment in there. We would love to hear about that. You don't have to send a video because you're not supposed to video in the casino, but I mean, if they don't care, of course, but I don't. My understanding is you're not supposed to video in the casino, so I don't. But anyway, we would just love to hear from you how things are going, so you can pop that in the comments. or send us a video, anything anyone would like to do, because I was thinking that might really help everybody else get a feel for what's going on the ship. So if any of you have any questions about this, if you have anything that you want to share by way of experience that you know regarding your cruises and anything you're thinking about, questions, anything, just put them in the comments below. I would like to invite you to subscribe to our channel. I think that we would love, well, I know that we would love to have you in our Let's Go family, but I also think that it will be really beneficial to you so that you can stay up to date with everything. I'm doing my best to keep you up to date with everything to do with Princess Cruise Lines and what they require, and at the same time I do tell you, look at the website right before you go, or keep an eye on it as you're getting ready to go, because sometimes things change right at the last minute, and so really keep an eye out. But being subscribed to our channel I think is a really good thing too, and so thank you very much. Also, if you found this video informative and helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up? That will help our channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.